Hey everybody, I'm Asia.
And I'm Juana Don.
And you may know us from the Project B33 show. I want to give you guys a little bit of information about our Project B33 brand. We are a clothing line. We have Save Yourself hoodies, overstand sweatshirts. We got it all. Also, we have environmental friendly products. And you know you guys can reach us at projectb33.com to get those amazing products. And check us out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on BSB Radio.
Project B33.
When I'm at home, smoking a cigar and zipping punch, I have my phone in my hand and my headphones on, and I listen to the soothing sounds of BSB Radio. You can get it on Apple, Amazon, and the Google Play Store. Once again, that's BSB Radio. Love that stogie.
Girl magic, y'all can't stand it, y'all can't ban it, made out like a bandit. They've been trying hard just to make us all vanish. I suggest they put a flag on a whole nother planet. Black girl magic, y'all can't stand it, y'all can't ban it, made out like a bandit. They've been trying hard just to make us all vanish. I suggest they put a flag on a whole nother planet. Black girl magic, y'all can't stand it, y'all can't ban it, made out like a bandit. They've been trying hard just to make us all vanish. I suggest they put a flag on a whole nother planet.
I'm Leo Sunfire.
And I'm Dr. Love.
Welcome to the Black Portal Power, where we center the Black experience. Open your mind,
For your soul.
for the portal is open. Welcome to Black Portal Power. The portal is now open. Today, our discussion is about Black girl magic.
Because we are magical. We're magically delicious. We're magically awesome. We're all those
Did
things.
you say delicious?
Yeah. Hey, listen. These are, you think you had Lucky Charms, but you ain't had
Black girl magic charms.
Baby, it's a whole different world.
Sprinkle me then.
Sprinkle me, baby. Sprinkle me, baby.
So we're going to get to it. I'm going to start off by saying the 7 churches is the 7 chakras of your body, and your body is the temple. Body image for Black women have been a big thing for eons, since the beginning of time of what they want to call our civilization. We've been dealing with Black body shaming since as early as the onset of slavery.
Ooh.
And the voluptuous structures of our bodies have been envied so much that they made us believe it was bad to have a full figure. Well, I mean, thicker than a Snicker is a thing,
It's a thing now, and it was called Hottentot Venus, I believe. She was put on display even in World's Fairs, the very first World Fair. If I'm not mistaken, you all can fact check me on that, but I'm just gonna put it out there. And so it was about this fascination with her body. So I'm glad you brought that up. So where does Black girl magic come from? Who's the founder? This awesome queen, Kashawn Thompson, started the Black girl magic movement. And guess what, Leo Sunfire?
What's that, Dr.
She started it based on just what you said. She is arguably wanting to promote, celebrate the beauty, power, and resilience of Black women. That is quoted verbatim from Ms. Thompson, who started this movement. And that's exactly what she wanted to do, celebrating our image, the way in which we present in the world, in our various shapes, sizes, and colors. I recently shared a meme with a friend, and I was just being given a little humor, but I'm like, it's great. So there's this challenge where the man can step on his woman's butt, like depending on how big her butt is. And again, as African women, we've been blessed in that way. Well, one of my African sisters said, my man is just gonna have to stand on the promises of God.
Yes. She must have a flat back.
Hey, listen, I love you.
Is that what it is?
I love our
SquarePants.
sisters.
Wearing the square pants.
I love our sisters that are hiding CDs back there. And I love those who are more like Dr. Love. Baby, I'm not, when that whole fad of putting the words on the booty and stuff, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a cute, like, juicy. This is going to be a billboard to say, juicy. Why would I do that? The bedazzle butt, that wasn't made for me. That
Apple
was
bottom jeans with the boots with the fur.
boom, boom. Apple bottoms were made for girls who don't necessarily have apple bottoms.
No,
now,
they
if you
didn't.
naturally have an apple bottom, hey, fashion tip 101. If you already have that, unless you want more attraction to that, don't do that.
Don't do
I
it.
don't do bedazzle butt jeans.
Right.
It was not it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. They were making them for my size. And I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, I will not bedazzle this.
Well, I had bedazzled jeans, but the jewels kept popping off, and I don't know why. Wasn't quite sure of that, you know. I just said, "Oh, these is cheap," but it wasn't. It wasn't that they were cheap. It
wasn't the
They weren't
pants'
for
fault.
me.
It wasn't the
They weren't
pants'
for
fault,
me.
So that is exactly why this movement was formed to, and I love that you started with that. Let's start with this issue of body shaming.
Yes.
That we have always done it. And, you know, I believe it was Malcolm X who said there is nobody more put down, offended, denigrated, right? And I'm paraphrasing here, in America than the Black woman. So this body shaming wasn't really leveled at European women.
No, absolutely
It
not.
wasn't.
Well, one of the things that it perplexes me is that how we reference our body. They compared our bodies to the bodies of animals. They would give us names compared to animal names. And what perplexes me is that we do the same thing by saying we're stallions, or I mean, if you stacked, you stacked. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we can find other terminology to compare ourselves to than an animal, because mentally that's a thing. It really does, you know, start to mess with your mentality.
So let me offer this. And you tell me, because as you all know, Leo Sunfire and I are sisters. Couldn't be, if we were born from the same mother, more connected, but we are not the same.
Not the same.
Not the same. One
Different.
of these kids is doing their own thing.
That's me.
That is definitely her in the crowd. I promise you, that is not an overstatement. You see how quick I got serious? Like, yeah, that is right. That's her. Not me. That's her. What if I offered this? You know, no different than I understand the whole, like, let me use this example. Abolish the N-word, right? And now we say N-word. But then we get upset with young men now using the word in rap lyrics and their conversations with each other. And I always say to those who say that's problematic, I hear you. Because I'm all about diplomacy, that we can agree to disagree, and we can disagree in healthy ways that promote understanding. And I mean, I wouldn't be in higher education if I didn't value this. But I always counter that with, what if it's a way of taking back a word that's out there? You can't take it back. You can't take it back. It's already been used. No different than, let me use a softer example that even some of our Black Girl Magic viewers might agree with if they don't like that one. I heard this wonderful scholar, wonderful journalist, Ta-Nehisi Coates, talking about this when he was asked the question, why is it problematic? He was asked by a white moderator, by the way, and this crowd was very diverse with a lot of white people coming out to see him because he is a well-known journalist. So he wrote a book that, again, was a New York Times bestseller. So he really did have a wide crowd in this particular event that I was at. And he said, he was asked the question, well, why, some white people feel like, why can't they use the N-word if, black people do? And he's a big fan of hip hop. He grew up East Coast, big fan of hip hop. And he said, because you can't. You just can't. You used it. You had your turn with it. Now it's our turn, right? And I remember him using this really wonderful example to explain that, because for whites who say, I just don't get it. And what he essentially said was, when my wife is talking with her girlfriends, and they might use terms like bitch, da 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 da, you so crazy. He said, I can't just jump in on that conversation and say, bitch, da 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 da. He was like, because it would be felt different. And he said, so it's about context, and that there are some people who have taken back ownership of words that have owned them. And so, I don't know. Meg Thee Stallion saying, yes, baby, I know you looking at it like I'm shaped like a horse. So let me take back stallion and use it the way and flip it how I want to.
Well, I would be okay with it, but a stallion is a male horse.
Oh, I'm gonna shut up on it.
I'm just saying. So if you got the power, use your power. But that's a male horse.
And we have seen her be compared to men. And
yes,
I'm like, wow.
yes. So let's celebrate good things. That's all.
So she should have said, Meg the pony, magic pony.
She could say, I'm a pony. I'd be like, that's what's up, man. You got that thing going on. You shapely.
And unlike Leo Sunfire, Dr. Love is more conservative and laid back. But if I put on certain things, you're going to see me strut like a pony.
Yeah.
I promise you, baby, in my bedroom.
Nothing's wrong with that.
And she'll catch me doing it. She'll be like, do that. And I'm like, oh, let me tone it down. Because if she told me to do that, I'm a little extra
Get
right
it poppin'.
now.
Why not? Why not?
So talk to us some more about Black Girl Magic, and even, I love that you opened up with body imagery and even body shaming, that we can own back our imagery and say this is about presenting Black Girl Magic in all of its forms, whether we're hiding CDs or we can literally sit on that thing like a couch and just jump up on that thing.
Well, I want to continue on with speaking of the body imagery, because that has become such a big thing with our queens. For example, at one point, even in the medical industry, if you have more than 33% body fat, you are considered obese, which for most Black women, they own that. Coming in, from, little kids on up, they have an extra amount of body fat because our structure is just different. We're more bodacious or just voluptuous. I don't know if our bones are heavier. I'm not sure. But we are naturally thicker than our white counterparts. But in the medical industry, if you have more than 33% body fat, you are
considered obese.
And they go by height, they go by age of how much fat you can have on your body. Well, that has caused a stigmatism in our minds. At one point, we had a lot of queens becoming what's the word? Where they lose all the weight through anorexic.
Is that the right one?
Yeah,
anorexic.
That's it.
Bulimic
and anorexic, due to the fact they were trying to lose all this weight to fit an image that was presented unto them. And the celebrities are the ones that we, contrary to popular belief, we look to them for guidance of imagery, or what beauty is, how you should embody beauty. And they were the ones putting themselves in harm's way, health-wise, to have a certain image.
And I love that. You noted at the onset that they disaggregate this height and weight scale, this weight scale, by height, even by age, but they don't disaggregate it by race or ethnicity. And that's interesting. So they are basing us off of likely a European colonizer standard of what is the normal average body type. And again, that race blind yet race consciousness way in which racism in the United States has affected everything in terms of medical treatment. We know that Black women's access to mental health as well as physical health. Don't get us started on Henrietta Lacks and the ways in which we are harvested because of our uniqueness, because of our difference, and in ways that are beneficial. Melanin in our skin protects us from getting skin cancer, right? But that is something that has been demonized, even though it is a natural adaptation. If our ancestors stayed closer to the equator, melanin was a necessity, right? So melanin protects us from the sun. It allows us to adapt to our environment. I believe that the Most High and its infinite wisdom said, okay, if you move further north, you don't need that adaptation. So if you have fairer skin, it's simply that your ancestors moved further north as we began to move away from the diaspora of life and where it began. And life, all of us, whether you love it or hate it, are African. We really are. The oldest human remains were found in Africa. You can call me a racist if that's not racist ideology. That is just anthropological facts.
I'm just saying. Well, we don't want to cut this short, but we need to take us a break here in a minute. But let's get back to a little bit of the body stuff, and then we're going to move on to something else.
You're listening to Black Portal Power on BSB Radio.
When I wake up, no makeup, half naked, I feel like I'm the shit. Pardon my language, but hang-ups do not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and I'm fine with it. My body are the laundry list of all of life's unkindnesses, but I still sip tea and chant Om and live free, cause hardships and heartbreaks turn to rap epiphanies. And mom told me stay woke, cause all gold ain't glistening. Choose your words wisely, cause the all-knowing's listening. But no worries, I'm Gucci, my thighs are little juicy, my dialogue little awkward, my idols still move me. My life is a movie like Raheem and Mookie. I'm just trying to do the right thing, hope that it improves me. My bamboo's accustomed to me, you'll be soon accustomed to me. This tomorrow, I got royal hemoglobin coursing through me, and my strength is now inhuman. I get that straight from my Omi, signed in silver mouth the grill of yours and truly.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
I ain't get here overnight. I was in that mirror like 4-5 times a week on my Malibis, reciting affirmations like holy rites, and I still don't know everything. But I guess confessions from 8x11s and studio sessions seem like it's only right. And trust me, this my therapy, fuck your couch. Finna murk all these Murphy types, funny styling me. Shut your mouth, touch me, I'm slaughtering crews, squads, goons, teams. The queen is coming to rule your region, coming for all of your asses, plus your house. I ain't always have it in me, no tolerance for pretending. I was 14 years old, forcing pills down my throat, so my baby fat diminished. Still got these scars from cutting my wrist when I thought the life was finished. Now they remind me what my lows look like, now I know the sky's the limit. Okay, never claim to be perfect, that's an impossible dream. I'm just saying that I'm worth it, that's the responsible thing. Spend half my life trying to find my life from outside sources, why the only voice that mattered came from me.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
When rock go in, she took a aggressive, that's too masculine. And her content, little too obsessive, just relax a bit. She say she got that's narcissistic, just the facts of it. Nah, I don't really F with female rappers, that's just sacrilege. Glad I learned early not to internalize every ink up. Daddy told me with every opinion there comes a sphincter. And they would rather she them thoughts than popularize a thinker. Why them lying archetypes is chasing cat, I'm trying to sphinx her. Rap barrel, skin caramello, apparel, mainly vintage. Meryl composer, warrior, so every verse became a vengeance. Went through too much hair to not be fine, but they still feigning ignorance. So now I came to click my just do with remaining interest. Baby, I'm a star without the flash frame of Fenty. Came out the doctored up the entire game upon my entry. Kept it 100, messed around and gained another century in this. Now I'm aimed to pop off till my mental chamber's empty. I'm unbothered, your standards is irrelevant. I might F around and rock a body, all this for the hell of it. They've been trying to martyr me for ages cause my melanin. So now I'm soaking UV rays with sugar slathered on my adamant. My dude, I'm magic, my gang is goddess, my mood is savage, that's gang is Connie's boss move and mountains, my range astonishing, dangerous sinus like rain and comets they blazing. Trails through planets all hell, it's kind of amazing. That's right, we'll call it self-love. Discovered I was dope and indulge like I'm scale drugs. And you could call me arrogant and that's gonna help love. But if you trying to knock me down, your demolitions fell, bruh, fell, bruh, fell, bruh, fell.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
So we're back. We're talking about Black Girl Magic, and we're gonna finish up this whole topic of body shaming, body imagery. One of the things that I want to touch on before we leave this is I'm trying to have a understanding of how our Black queens decided to change their body surgically by injections of silicone in their ass tacks, and in their bosoms, which ultimately cause all kind of medical issues down the line.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out how we got to this point where we're so ashamed of not having enough of whatever it is you're looking for that you are putting this shit in your body.
Because we live in a society, right, that if we talk about why racism exists, why sexism exists in the United States, it exists because of our capitalistic greed. Right. We are not the only capitalist economy. We are the only capitalist economy that absolutely refuses to put the market in check. Right? And so that means terms like communism and now socialism is the new word for communism is dirty. Whether or not you agree with those political orientations or ideologies of those countries, what they're essentially doing with socialist policies is saying, hey, yes, we are market society, but we're going to put this in check. So for instance, let me use a really soft example. Federal Family Leave Acts. If a society that's capitalist says, but we're going to make sure that families can leave in the time of bringing up children, then, we're going to allow that because we value families and children. We don't in the United States. Let's just put that thing out there. We say we're about morals and values. No, we're not, because we will sacrifice those morals and values and even our health, what you're talking about, Leo Sunfire, for capitalist gain. And to assume that Black people are not capitalists, honey, we are some of the best capitalists in the world. We have learned how to adapt to a system that was forced upon us. And so, yes, our sisters, unfortunately, these beautiful queens who were fearfully and wonderfully made. We are all made in the image of the Most High. And so whenever you critique, I don't like this nose, I don't like this kinky hair, guess what, sister? You are telling the Most High that you were made wrong. But you were made in the image of the Most High. Yeah. So how could you be wrong? Yeah. How could your lips be wrong? How could the fullness of your hips be wrong?
The very thing that they are now, they envied so long ago and told you was ugly and grotesque is now what they go to do. They go to pay money to get to have the lips and the nose and the ass and the breast and the contoured body frame. I mean, we as black women, especially women, we cannot forget that everything, no matter how big or small we are, about us and our bodies is beautiful. I mean, we get so upset that we have scars from having children. You're a mother. That is a reward. Those are your battle wounds right there. Don't forget that the very thing that you look at and celebrate when you say, I love my baby, is the reason why you have stretch marks.
And you better kiss these tiger marks.
Yeah.
Yes. You better love on them marks, honey, because that brought life from this body.
Really did. It really did.
Even though it put this body through some things that it ain't quite bounced back from. But
we gotta get our diets in check. Yes. That's something that we are responsible for.
Yes.
But those scars, don't be ashamed of those. And if any man makes you feel bad for them, that ain't that man for you.
Exactly. How about that?
Yeah. He needs to figure out what's wrong with him if he's you're not beautiful because you have stretch marks.
Yeah, that man probably got on stretch pants, but I digress. I digress. But to your question, because I'm not gonna, because see, you will go there, and now we got a different topic.
Listen, I'm not gonna do that at all.
I digress, and I'm gonna get us back to center.
Okay, let's go.
And the reason, Leo Sunfire, I believe that our sisters are doing that is because they've understood in a capitalist economy and society where white men didn't value you except for your sexuality, that they're saying, well, let me inject more so you can pay me more. This is a modern day putting us back on the auction block. And listen, it ain't white guys that's doing it. Today, brothers, we got to be careful. We're going to talk about in a couple weeks Black Boy Joy. So trust and believe, brothers, we love you. Okay, Black Man Magic.
There we go. Let's give him a title. Let's give him.
Hey, whatever you want to call it. See how I have to argue with her?
I'm just saying.
See how I have to argue with her? Pray for me, listeners. Pray for me, Portal Power listeners. But I offer that even our men have to be careful who are wanting a certain look in the videos, who are wanting a certain image of beauty in the videos, and understanding that in terms of the economic need for Black women who are at the bottom of the echelon. Black women, for instance, graduate higher education historically and contemporarily at rates that exceed white men. We always have. We always exceed. But we do not make the same amount as I'm not even going to jump to white men counterparts. We don't make the same amount as white women who are in the same field and at the same rank as us. We don't make the same as Black men if our brothers are allowed even entree into that, because then they do divide and conquer politicking, where now it's like, well, I will hire her because she fits two quotas, right? She is female and she's a person of color. So we've got to be careful of these sort of dynamics in our society, Leo Sunfire, which can be problematic. And so I want to make sure that our listeners, if you are trying to think about doing something like butt injection enhancements, and especially for our sisters who may not have, the superstar money and fame, that I'm going to ask and offer I'm going to ask and offer that you don't even worry about doing that, because economically, if you can afford it at that level, that means somebody's injecting something in your body that could be even more toxic than the stuff that is on the market and legitimized. So be very careful and think critically about who told you you weren't beautiful?
Right.
Who told you you weren't enough?
Right.
Who told you that your ass wasn't big enough or it was too small? Who told you that and question the source. Who is telling you that? And I mean, even if you feel like you're telling yourself that, question the demonic force that's telling you that, because the God in you is not telling you that.
No.
The God in you is telling you, hey, I made you beautiful.
That's right.
I made you just the way you are supposed to be. From those thighs. Look, ladies, let's just make peace with our thighs. Listen, I call mine the thunder thighs, the thunder twins, baby. I love them. Shout out to my personal trainer who told me, name these body parts that are screaming at you now that, because I told him, hey, listen, you asking me to run. You see these thighs? They don't run. Now I walk. Hey, bro, I can get you 2 miles in 45 minutes. I'm dope with it. But these thighs, man, he said, well, name them. So they Thelma and Louise, baby. Double trouble. So start back loving yourself.
Love yourself.
Reclaim even the negative images in your own mind and your own thought processes about your body. And as India Reese said, sometimes, and my girl Tweet, sometimes you have to just take them clothes off in the mirror and make peace with those stretch marks and say, listen, baby, I'm a lioness. And you walk around there and listen, roar like Tanya Mitchell. Leo Sunfire, if you have to. I, on the other hand, will not growl in the mirror at myself. Dr. Love is going to say, you're beautiful. You're fine. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. And I look in the mirror and say that you are kind. You are beautiful. You are genuine. Love those gap teeth. Because you got that from your daddy. And daddy gone, y'all. But I got a reminder of who my daddy is when I look at my teeth and my sister's teeth, because all of Greg's girls have those gap teeth. Right. And my African students tell me what part of Africa I was likely stolen from, based on my facial features. So had I changed them, had I listened to the rhetoric, get braces, the only reason I didn't was because braces weren't cool back in the when I was growing up.
You don't want to talk about that?
We ain't gonna talk about that.
Right. Back in
but you know what I did do? I put a gold tooth in there, which brought more attention to my gap, and now I'm smiling like silly with my hand over this front mouth, and now you can't stop me from smiling. I'm like Michael Strahan of, what's my girl name from Orange is the New Black? Hey, you can't stop me from smiling, showing all of these teeth. I have had children say, hey, are you missing one? No, baby, that's my gap. It's a Greg's girl gap. I own it. I love it. I embrace it. And I thank God that I didn't change it when I thought about doing it. And I'm not getting Invisalign, y'all. So listen, enjoy it, appreciate it. And if you don't, keep it to your self.
Well, we're getting ready to get into the depth of the black woman. Black girl magic on steroids.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Enlighten us.
Well, okay. So we have been responsible for healing the world. We have to nurture everyone and everything in this world, from giving our breasts to slave owners' children, to feeding, to organizing pantries and gardens for our people today. We create skin and hair products to create beauty for ourselves and our people. Madam CJ, shout out to Madam CJ Walker.
And shout out to Beauty Enrichment.
And Beauty Enrichment. That's me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Say it again so our listeners can hear that you started with Madam CJ Walker, and then I just want you to bring it up to the forefront.
Well, yeah, Madam CJ Walker was the first black woman millionaire who created hair products for her people, our people. And she is my idol. If I have to have one, that's her. She has been so profound in our historical success, if you want to say, for our people, that, she's an icon for many. But for me, I take it personal because she's in the industry that I'm in, and I'm in the industry that she was in. I'm gonna give homage, pay homage.
Can I pay homage real quick?
Yeah.
Let me pay homage too. So Leo Sunfire is I don't know that cosmetologist really explains it. So I always say cosmetologist / stylist / guru. How about I just start using the hashtag Black Girl Magic behind it? Not only will put product on your hair and treat it and grow it back, if she doesn't find one that is suitable for your hair, I know from lived experience that she will say, hey, next week, come back. And she will have made a product for you that actually deals with, in my case, your dry scalp. Now, I have tried everything from Neutrogena T-Fal all the way through to, Head and Shoulders. Honey, listen, I was desperate to deal with this dry scalp, but perhaps, maybe, and I offer this, perhaps those products didn't work because they weren't racially and culturally tested or designed. And so Leo Sunfire has definitely
because
taken
I'm
that
an herbalist. I believe in herbs. I believe in everything that the Most High has designed for us is on this earth, and I use them to the fullest. The depth of me is herb. I like trees. If you know what I mean. I'm just saying. But no, everything that we need is here from the Most High. And I dabble in that. I go in there, I mix those herbs up, and I find out what works best based on the things that I see going on with the client's head. But we getting ready to take a break. I'm off kilter a little bit today because I really got so much to say, but I ain't got time for that, man. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Not today. But you're listening to Black Portal Power on BSB Radio.
Just don't know what I'm about. They haven't seen what's there behind my smile. There's so much more of me I'm showing now. woman. Yes, I'm a woman. A woman. These are the pieces of me. Yeah.
I'm going back to the south. I'm going back, 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 back. Where my roots ain't watered down. Growing like a baobab tree of life on fertile ground. My ancestor put me on game. On charm, on gold chains. With my old shoe energy. Drip all on me. Uncle that she keep it. Holla, don't I smell like such a non-chopper instant. Yeah, pure ice, 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 ice. Bust down, flood it. Flood it, on my wrist out. Ooh, going up, motherland, drip on me. Ooh, melanin, my drip is skin deep like. Ooh, motherland, drip on me. I can't forget my history, it's her story. Yeah. In black, maybe that's the reason why they always mad. Yeah, they always mad. Yeah. Been past them, I know that's the reason. Cheering, they like chick how I charge my crystals in a full moon. You can send them missiles, I'ma send my goons. Baby sister rapping in my yard. Trust me, they gon' need an army. Rubber bullets bouncing off me. Made a picket sign up your picket fence. Take it as a warning. Waste beats from your Uber. 400 Billy, that's a Musa. Straw line to the barbecue. But it's any damn way we gon' make it look cute. Pandemic fly on the runway in my hazmat. Children running through the house in my art all black. Ancestors on the wall, let the ghost chit chat. Ancestors on the wall, let the ghost chit chat. Hold my hands, we gon' pray together. Lay it down, face down in the gravel. We wearing all tie white to the funeral. Black love, we gon' stay together. Curtis Mayfield on the speaker. Lil Malcolm, I miss from Mama Tina. Need another march, let me call Tamika. Need peace and reparation for my people. Fuck these late edges, I'ma let it shrivel up. Fuck this fading ways, I'ma let it dread all up. Get your fist up in the air, show black love. Motherland drip on me, motherland drip on me. Honey, come around my way, around my eyes. Whenever mama says so, mama said, here I come on my toes, yeah. Follow my parade, my parade. Talking slick to my folk, nip that lip like lipo. Yeah, I'm swarming right. These is known to buy. Now here we come on our toes, yeah. Follow my parade, my parade.
So we're back with Black Portal Power. So Leo Sunfire, you were saying there were some other things you wanted to touch on with respect to Black girl magic.
Yes, absolutely. I love to pay homage to the queens of the struggle, and I mean really the queens of the struggle. I'm gonna just name a few. I'm gonna start with Harriet Tubman, my girl. Ida B. Wells.
That's my girl.
Dorothy Height.
Come on.
Nellie Francis.
Hit 'em with it.
Angela Davis.
Wow.
Dr. Frances Cress Wellings,
well,
the goddess of information. That's just to name a few of the pioneers.
Now, let's talk about the names that our listeners may not be as familiar with. We might know, Harriet Tubman. I mean, who doesn't know the Black Moses, right?
Right.
But we might not know, perhaps, maybe my hero, my shero. Right?
Okay.
Ida B. Wells. So hit us with some of the names that may be less familiar. Tell us a little bit about these folks.
Dorothy Height, she, I would have to really pull up all my information. I was just bringing you some names that you can actually go and research yourself. So
because this show is about enlightenment, not education, as Leo Sunfire explained to me last time.
I can't express that enough. Nellie Francis. Of course, everybody knows about Angela Davis. And these are just to name a few of the pioneers that created the movement for to show us our strength and our power and our beauty and our fearlessness of any and everything. I mean, we're actually lioness for real. We will, protect our tribes under any and all circumstances. That's what these women have done. They have exhibited on high levels. And they are the reason why we are in the position that we're in today. Some of the reason I'm going to say that because there were so many other queens whom I didn't name who were responsible as well.
Absolutely. Who are our icons, our, sheroes.
Yes.
Given we're doing Black Girl Magic this time, in a couple weeks, we're going to give a shout out to the brothers. Can I brag? I totally understand now why Madam C.J. Walker, who I was very familiar with, because I did go to an inner city high school, i.e. Black high school, and elementary and middle school. So I was very familiar with Madam C.J. Walker, the first self-made Black woman millionaire who was involved in beauty cosmetic products. I knew about her before that wonderful queen Olivia Spencer played her on this new movie about her life, Self-Made. Let me shout out, and I can see why she is an idol for you, because again, you are a modern Madam C.J. Walker, and I mean that not because I
need
love
that bread though.
This is true, because she is C.J. Walker all the way through. She not just in this because she like, Toya, we gonna do something about that dandruff. She like, listen, you tell your people to tell their people, hey, get at me online if they need a dandruff treatment. So that part, yeah, she is Madam C.J. Walker all the way through. I only hope to embody, just like you embody, Leo Sunfire, the essence of our wonderful, wonderful queen, Madam C.J. Walker. I hope to embody the beauty and wonderfulness of our queen, Ida B. Wells. So I agree with Leo Sunfire. We are not here to educate, but to enlighten. So y'all look up these names. I dare you to look up these names and see that Black Girl Magic isn't just a hashtag. It's a reality. My Black Girl Magic that I hope that I embody in my daily lived experiences today is Miss Ida B. Wells. Miss Ida B. Wells is an educator, a journalist, and you know what propelled her to do the work that she did as a journalist? So as a journalist, she began going across the nation and into the Confederate South and documenting how many of these events were happening in the North, who was supposed to be the sympathizers, the Lincoln free the slaves folk. She was documenting Black people being lynched. And I have numbers that I use now that evidence the numbers of where this shifted right at emancipation. Prior to this, people who were classified as white were more likely to be lynched. Black people were not, because they were property. So you really wanted to maim your property, not necessarily lynch it if it got out of line, because they were property. They were an economic asset. Now, that beautifulness of Ida B. Wells, after having a friend of hers, a good friend of hers, killed through lynching, she began to go around. So this educator put on a journalist hat and said, I'm going to go around and document these things, because it was made public. It was ads put out in their local papers and so on and so forth, if a lynching was going to happen. So never use the term picnic, right? Because it's offensive to us as Black people, because we knew that those were actual gatherings. White people brought their lunches. They even picked parts off of the lynched bodies and kept them as souvenirs. So she began to document this happening all over the globe. Of what we call the United States, because again, we were a sovereign nation of sovereign states. And so she said, and I hope I don't mess up the quote here, because she said it so eloquently and so well. She said, there is no other group of people sinned against more than African American people, and it has fallen upon me to bring light to this. Right? That she wasn't wanting to take on that cause, but she said it has fallen upon her.
Well, that's what a lot of our queens have done. I mean, they have played their own role and their own part in the uprising of our people. They have fought and overcome every stereotype and stigmatism that have plagued Black women and Black people. Mm-hmm. And in the words of the great late Maya Angelou, still I rise. Yes. They have still overcome and still shine through all the darkness that have been, brought onto them. Mm. And we are a legion of greatness when our minds and our bodies are free as Black women. Yes. We're not a nation. We are a legion. Understand that word of greatness when our minds and our body are free. When we have absolute power to be who we are, our minds can expand and do great things, things so extraordinary that the world has not seen yet.
And we could not have even survived the atrocities of these things, these darknesses that have been placed upon us. You know, you mentioned the Black Moses, that queen, Absolutely. Harriet Tubman, who said, I freed thousands of slaves. Now, in terms of the conductors on the Underground Railroad, nobody has topped her numbers. No. She was the most famous conductor on the Underground.
She had no fear.
No fear, because her mind was not enslaved. And this is what she said. She said, I have freed hundreds of slaves, and I could have freed thousands more if they only knew that they were free.
That they were slaves.
That they were free.
That they were free. You're
that
right.
They are not slaves.
Yeah.
That she wouldn't have had to pull that pistol out.
Yeah.
On the ones who wanted to go back. She said that I could have brought even more across these territories and these terrains if they only knew that they were free.
Yeah, you're right. And so I want to talk about how indigenous we are to this land. Again, I like to bring that up because I don't want us to ever forget that although African descents we are native to this land in America. No matter how they try to make you seem like there's a Native American group of people and then there's Black people, you are Native American. Because are indigenous.
Humans originated from what we now call Africa.
Absolutely.
So we are all Africans, whether we are now classified. And so
wait a minute. I gotta get to the point I was saying.
Yes, get to it.
Our native our indigenous roots here in America are so profound that they built a statue which they changed over the years of liberty, of what this country is supposed to be for, in the image of a Black woman, in the image of who we are and what we're supposed to stand for, our power, our fearlessness of everything. And I posted not too long ago, a meme, I guess you want to say, of a black woman sitting in a chair with a queen's hat on, and it is the Queen of California. She is the native of California, the indigenous person to California, and this you can clearly see that this is a black woman. That's black magic. That's what you need to understand about black magic. It's black girl magic, I should say. I don't want to say black magic because some people think that's bad, but it's not
because we use black to mean negative or evil, and white to mean the absence of such.
Absolutely.
And that is a social construction of race.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, I don't ever want to negate the mention of the black queens, some of the black queens in Africa who they don't speak of. Queen Amina, Queen Kandake, Queen Makeda, Nefertiti, Asantua, Nadi, Maureen. These are all queens of Africa. These queens need to be acknowledged as well, because that's from where we come. We can go back to our roots. We could go back to find out exactly what we were made of, so that we could take it from there and carry on their legacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not to mention, I'm going to talk about these people.
Well, I want to piggyback where you said let me finish.
Okay,
so,
okay, hold on.
So Kanye, I'll let you finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Now I want you to peep this, because again, as you all know, Leo Sunfire and I have great levels of respect for each other, but sometimes we really do kind of see it different. So I think we agree on this, though. I think that when we talk about Native, when we talk about European, that this was just about the diaspora from Africa, right? Where people landed even once these continents separated. This is why they look like they actually fit together. So when you say Native American people, they are all African people. We are all one. And so I want us to be careful. And this is what I see happening sometimes. If we're not careful as black people, we can engage in, and I really want our listeners to take this in, divide and conquer politicking and say, well, Asian people are black. Yes, they all are, because we are all African. But that does not mean it's us versus them. I will not participate in the colonizers' sort of method of thinking that house slaves, field slaves. We are all one. We are all African. We are all indigenous to these lands, whether you have lighter skin, dark skin, slanted eyes, full eyes. We are all one.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of being indigenous. But I want to give a shout out to the queens of my life that I know personally, who have done extraordinary things in business, in motherhood, and just every aspect and genre of education, everything. I see queens. I know them personally. I'm going to say my mom, first of all, because I seen her go through so many things. The struggle was real for her, and she overcome that. And the reason why I'm here. Then I'm going to shout out to myself, because I have overcome so many obstacles. The world has not been kind to me, but I like the kind of world that I'm in. I'm just saying, because I love myself. I want to shout out to Dr. Love, my sisters, my friends, and all the beautiful, strong black queens in this world.
We love you. We
That's
value
magic
you.
that you do
we
every day.
Absolutely.
That's magic. Don't ever diminish the magic that you possess. Keep that. It's yours. It's real.
Absolutely. We love you. We honor you, queens, in every shape, form, fashion that you come in.
This has been Black Portal Power. Open your mind.
Free your soul.
For the portal is always open.